Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and this is the Salomon Takaharu Nakai, aka the Taka. In the past, when it did not have ABS sidewalls, I got it in really deep powder, good groomers. This time I got it in good groomers to fairly uneven groomers, just to round out the test and see what the new construction does. The shape, camber profile, specs is very similar to the past model, so I just needed to see how it rode in uneven snow. Now, when it comes to sizing, I only had the option to try the 58, but I would have been pretty interested in trying the 61. The 58 fit me really well. I'd get this if I was mainly riding groomers. If I saw a lot of powder or I just wanted to carve harder and go faster, I'd definitely go 61. Now let's get into a short summary in the Snowboard dating app, some things that might make you want to swipe right. This has excellent pop, a very fast, easy gliding base. It is a fun across the groomer to circle carver, but still can handle down the line carving well. Some things that might make you want to swipe left. If you're a charger who wants a stiffer board, you might not be into this. When it comes to the shape, this is pretty tapered, pretty directional. It's pretty set back on board. Your feet are right here. You're definitely riding further back on the tail than you would some free ride boards. When it comes to camber, there is a little bit of early rise in the tail, but not much. A healthy bow of camber between the feet. It's not massive though. It's not like something I can really easily get my fingers underneath, but then it goes to a decent amount of early rise before this big ass nose. I'd say it feels very stable, very camber-like, but without that catch of camber. I never felt like it was gonna punish me if I get off my game. I would say it's more for committed intermediates up, but overall, very good for a wide variety of riders. When it comes to edge hold, there is very competent grip. I did get some hard patches here and there where good snow was scraped away and there was snow mint bordering on ice underneath. I wouldn't say this is up there with some of the most disrupted side cuts out there, but it grips very well and never grabs in soft snow. Let's talk flex. You have a pretty easy flex. This is easier than the Assassin Pro and all mountain board. You have a pretty easy flex point in the middle here where I feel some give here in the tail. It's got a pretty stiff tail, but it still flexes easy enough to butter off the tail, no problem. It was very easy for me. Same with the nose, and nose butters were really fun. And overall, there's a nice, dynamic, poppy feel that's easy to ollie. I really enjoyed this on little side hits and such. I also really enjoyed the addition of ABS sidewalls. This changed this ride. I've ridden this extensively in the past, and this would just get cranky. It would send that energy up into your joints in uneven snow. This takes it all and absorbs it. This still bounces around in uneven snow, especially soft, uneven snow, but it's a predictable, easy bounce to get used to. It doesn't have a really hard, snappy buck that can jolt you. They're much more manageable now with ABS. This is just a mellow, cruisy, soft, fun, all conditions ride, where in the past it wasn't. When it comes to speed, the side cut and flex of this board doesn't really say take me straight, but it does a very good job for what it is. When it comes to base glide, this black base with yellow flex I thought would be slow, but this thing glides like a champ. I've rode this 2 days and you can see the wax is barely gone. It's still ready to go. It still has amazing glide. I always had to go first in my group because this just went faster than every other board out there. I'd say it's definitely upper tier. When it comes to turning, this Taka did a great job. Very fast edge to edge. It really initiated a turn quickly. If you see a lot of tight tree runs, it's gonna work very well. I set this up one day, plus 24 front, plus 6 back. to get some more directional posi stance carving. Then the next day I set it up 18 front, -3 back to make sure it rides well, slightly duck like a lot of people do. Once you get this edge engaged, it has an excellent spring out of the turn. It carves across the groomers and circle carves really well. I'd say it definitely leans more on the turny side, but you could make some down the line carves pretty well. It's not where it shines, but it's definitely doable and very fun. I just loved the overall turning experience of this, and the more you torqued that turn, the more this gave back. I really thought it would be less satisfying for how soft this flex is in the free ride family. It's a little bit on the softer, more playful side. So overall, a very fun turning experience. When it comes to powder, I got this older model without ABS sidewalls, but almost everything else about this board is the same: shape, setback on board, camber profile, taper, etc. This floated very well. I got this in a storm where it snowed 48 inches in 48 hours, and this thing could hang in a 158. In those kind of conditions, I would have loved to have been on a 161. Those 3 centimeters would matter. That extra width would help me and handle my weight a little better and keep me going. I did get stuck once, and that kind of sucked on a long flat out. But overall, this is an incredible floater. This is interesting here because you only have 5 inserts on the front and 7 inserts on the back, 7x2, 5x2. I thought this wouldn't set back very well. But if you set it all the way back on a full-size disc from here to here, you can get -4.875 inches back from center of board at a 22-inch stance width. I'd love to see what it could do if you added 2 more here, but this is very set back, very directional, and you still have a little landing gear for some air. But if you're someone who likes to go big, you can set it forward a little bit, get a little more landing gear, and still get very good directional float. But if you're like me, you're gonna set it all the way back because whatever airs you get, you don't need that much landing gear. Riding this thing switch wasn't very doable, but the nose and tail buttered very well, played around. You can definitely ride switch if you want. Carve a pipe wall, hit a kicker, that's fine. Overall, I found that this Taka 158 greatly improved over past years' models. The uneven snow performance is on another level versus the older one. Now this is a much more recommendable daily driver for those that see all kinds of terrain and they want a softer, playful, but still fun to turn, easy floating free ride board.